Hello everyone, this is Candy the 614 Stitcher, and today is Sunday, March the 30th, 2025, and this is my Flosstube episode 139. I would like to say hello and welcome to any new subscribers. I thank you so very much for taking the time out of your busy schedule to allow me to enable you with a project or two. And to my returning friends, thank you for coming back each and every time I do upload a video. I have had an interesting 2 weeks. I was away at retreat. Last week I was flying back from retreat, and so I didn't get to record a video. I don't have a lot of pictures from retreat. I was living in the moment and didn't get copies of some of the pictures, and so I apologize for that. But I had a wonderful time. I got to spend time with Janet Jabber, who I am good friends with, and her sister Annette, and Cindy, who I'm good friends with. We know each other from previous retreats that we have attended together. And then I met a new friend, Katie, who is Jeremiah's mom here on Flosstube, and it was great hanging out. We sat next to each other and laughed a lot and talked a lot and got to know each other, which was really great. This retreat is the Hoosiers State Stitchers Retreat. The name has since been changed. It is now called Stitching in the Veil. It is put on by a friend of mine from Columbus, Marie, and she organizes this retreat in Indiana. It is 2 hours from Indianapolis at a church camp, which was very nice. We literally did not have to go off of, I did go off of the grounds. I forgot soda, and I only drink one kind of soda, so I had to go pick up, for anybody that knows, I drink Canada Dry, which is crazy, but anyway, that's the only soda that I drink. So people were offering me soda, but I was like, no, I just want a Canada Dry, please. And it was really fun. We got to do some different things. I learned how to make pins. So let me show you those. So I made 3 different types of pins. Marie brought all of the pins and the garnishments, the things to make them with. So you use a long pin with a pearl top head on them, which was very fun. And then before that, so on Friday, we dyed fabric, and I'll show you that a little later in my in my investments portion. And then on the same day, which I believe was Saturday, we took apart, sorry, I'm putting my pins back in my little Beanie Baby. So I took apart and made this this little turtle Beanie Baby into a weight, and I use it on my light because I end up stitching down, looking down through my light for the magnifier. So sometimes the light tips over. So this is a weighted, I put BBs in. Thankfully enough, I didn't have any problems getting it back through TSA because it's full of BBs. And I then opened up a seam and put the BBs inside on 2 areas. So one on his bottom, and then I also put some in his shell, and then I sewed it back up again, and so it makes it a very nice weight to put on my light so that my light doesn't tip over while I'm stitching. I haven't given my turtle a name yet. The name on the tag is Turbo, but I'm not a Turbo person. I mean, I like Turbo or whatever, but I need a different name for him. So that is one of the activities. And then the pin making, which Marie was very excited about doing. And then I'll show you the fabric dyeing that someone else, and I can't think of who the name of that person was, but we had a very good time. The food was delicious. It was all prepared by the staff of the event center. So we had delicious food, and the weather was a bit chilly. There was one day where it rained a lot on Sunday coming back, but it was a good time. I needed a break, and so I was glad to be able to get away. Again, for next year, I'm not planning on doing a whole lot of retreats because, as you know, I am going on a huge Mediterranean adventure. All of the information for that adventure is down in the description box below. So I'm not planning on doing a lot of retreats next year. This is a smallish retreat. There's only 24 attendees. And so they are already full for next year. But it was a great time. I needed a break, and it was a great getaway, quick flights, both to and from, and so it made it really, really nice. And I got a ton of stitching done, which also always makes it for a great retreat. Lots of laughter and joking around with friends, and so I also met so it's not very many floss tubers there. I got to see a couple of friends from Columbus who came to the retreat, Karen and Stacy, which was great to see them. And then there was, her name is the 14 count Ada girl, but I don't know what I just knew the 14 count Ada girl. So she was there, but you know, there were only like 4 of us that were floss tubing that were there. So that are floss tubers that were there. So it was a good time. I truly enjoyed it, and hope to maybe at some point again get to go back again. It won't be next year, but you know, you never know when the opportunity might present itself again. So it was a great time, Marie, and I appreciate you opening it up so for other people to be able to come. I do, as I said, have a lot of stitching, and so we're gonna just jump right in. I have some starts, some whips, finishes, and FFO. I have been busy. And then we'll go on to plans, because this is the end of the month and I want to give you my April plans. And then we'll go on to investments, and then you can go to your next floss tube. So for the retreat, I had 2 starts. The retreat started on, sorry, I got something on the floor that's bothering my foot. The retreat started on, oh my goodness. Oh, here they go. It started on a Thursday, and Thursday was the first day of spring. And so I decided to have 2 new starts for the first day of spring. And the first start I had was Spring Fling by Blackbird Designs, and this was a gift to me from my friend Donna, which is Miss Donna. And I truly enjoyed starting this. I started this, as you know, I am really low on my fabric choices here. So Janet, being the awesome friend that she is, brought me a few different samples of fabric for me to stitch my new starts on. And so this is on a 16 count Water Lily. And Water Lily is by Witchelt. And I started in the center here and then came around and down and put in these A, B, C, D, and E alphabets. I put in, this is on, and I'm using the Called For Gentle Arts, which Janet also supplied me with. So thank you so very much, Janet. I appreciate you so very much. And in Spring Fling, I put in 212 stitches on this chart. My goal for getting new starts are put in 200 stitches on it. So I have met that requirement now. And we'll be pulling it out hopefully again during some point during the year. As you know, I am in the, if you've been here for a while, I am in the magazine monthly cross stitch acrostic, and so that gives me plenty of opportunity to pull out different projects, and that is what I plan on doing. I'm also in Whippagories, which also allows me to, which is Whippagories or Categories, it goes by either name, is run by Sammy J, and it's 5 different categories for a month, and so that also gives me opportunities to touch different projects throughout the year. The next spring project, spring date project that I started on, I'll put a picture of it here. It is Colors of the Season, Spring. It is by Carolyn Manning. It is also a small. I am stitching this on another Janet Jabber gift, 18 count boot camp by Bestitch Me, and I'm using the Called For DMC colors. And so here is where I have gotten to on this. I have added 1,111 stitches on this. Now you may be asking, why in the world, how in the world did you put so many stitches into this? I am trying to change, make a change in my stitching. Particularly when it comes to small projects like this one, I'm going to be using this as my 25 to 30 minute stitch a day. So I had been participating in a group by Melanie Watkins, and it's called 25/7, and you stitch on a project for 25 minutes, 7 days a week. And I'm going to start participating in that again. I believe that I can get these small Carolyn Mannings completed in the 3-month time allotment if I just stitch on it for 25 minutes a day. I average between 90 to 112 stitches in an hour. In 30 minutes. The last one I checked it, I stitched 91 stitches in 30 minutes. So I'm hoping that with doing that, I will be able to get these completed within the 3-month. So I don't have all these smalls just sitting around, is basically what it boils down to. Because I do enjoy working on Carolyn Manning. And there's plenty of them out there for me to work on. So I'm going to keep one in rotation at all times. And so with me doing the 25/7, or it'll probably end up being more like 30 minutes, because I don't just leave a thread hanging. I usually try to finish the thread. So I believe I'm going to do like 25 minutes a day, or finish off a thread. So that was my number 2 start for the first day of spring. And so there is that. Okay, so now I'm going to go into whips. I need to pause for 1 second. Sorry, I could tell that I was about to sneeze. So I was like, okay, let me pause. There is yellow powder floating around in the air. Literally, my car is floating. For those of you that don't know or are new to my channel, I am relocating to North Carolina. And I suffered from allergies in Ohio. So I knew what, you know, what I didn't expect is for this yellow green powder to be over everything. It's like somebody took a feather duster and just shook it out, and yellow green powder is everywhere. My car is covered, and so my allergies are a little worse down here than what they were even in Ohio, and they were bad in Ohio. So I had to get myself together before I, started sneezing all over the place. So now let's move on to my whips. I have a few whips to share, quite a few actually, for the past 2 weeks. So bear with me. We'll move along at a steady clip, but I just wanted you to know that. One of the first things I worked on for the week before I left for the retreat was Ymir had a run, and I work on a Bothy threads kit when Ymir M&M's runs a race. She just finished another race, and I'll need to put some stitches in for that race this week. But she worked, she ran in New York. Yes. And then she ran, the last run she just did was from LA to Las Vegas. She did that run also last year. So I work on Candy Canes, which is a shoe by Bothy Threads. There's a group of us that are stitching this shoe. Not this shoe, but a shoe by Bothy Threads. And here's a picture of what it looked like when I last shared it with you. And here is where I am now. So I filled in a lot of the green, and I've also put in some of the yellow. I added 135 stitches to this project. It's, I started in the middle, so it's going to be hard until I get back up. So I get to something that you can tell what it is, but that is where I've added more stitches in. I am using the kit, so it is on 14 or 16 count Aida. Yeah, 16 count Aida with the Bothy threads, and so I'm using the kit for that. And again, I will be stitching on that again this week, as she just finished her Las Vegas, or LA to Las Vegas running this past last night. It was either last night or early this morning. I can't tell by the pictures, because all the pictures are dark. So and that was for Ymir. The next project that I have is for my Whipagories / categories, and it is a project with no black. And that would be my Dr. Maya Angelou by Salty Stitcher Designs. And here's a picture of where it was when I last shared it with you. And here is where it is now. So I put in some more of the words down here at the bottom. And now it says what you say, E.T. what you say. And I'm trying to think if there was something else, but I'm pretty sure that was all that I put in, because I put in 121 stitches on this project this past time. So that is where I am on that now. And I am stitching this on a 36 count pearl by Mystic Fabrics, and I am using my own thread conversion. I changed all the flowers to purple and yellow. They were purple and blue and some other colors, and I changed them to purple and yellow. If I'm going to work on this, but this project is going to end up going on my year of whips next year, because I've been working on it long enough now. Yeah, I started in 2023, so it's 2 years old. Oh, and we'll have its birthday in April, because I started this on her birthday, on Dr. Maya Angelou's birthday, which is April the 4th. So I'll be pulling it out again in April for her birthday. So you'll see that again in a week and a half. The next piece that I worked on, now some of these pieces I worked on the week before the week I was leaving, or before. So bear that in mind, because some of these I was like, did I work on this? But I keep track of my my whips by what I when I do my Flosstube, so I know, like, okay, you did work on this. I think you're cricket, but okay. So the next project I worked on was Modern Folk Embroidery. Put a bird on its sow. And here's a picture of where it was when I last shared it with you. And here's a picture of where it is now. So I added this stem here, this 3, and this part here. I added 142 stitches to this project this past time, and I'm struggling to figure out what I actually did add. But there's where it is now, and you will see this again, because the first of the month is coming. We will have our Zoom call on April the 4th, as it turns out. It'll be at 6:30, and you can go over to the Sunshine Stitchers Facebook group to see the posting for the time and get the Zoom information for the Zoom stitching. But there's where I'm at on it. I am stitching this on a 46 count oyster shell by Fox and Rabbit, and I am using a Cottage Garden thread, LaSalle for my thread. So far, I am I believe I'm 30% complete, but I'll let you know that the next time I stitch on it. I stitch on this project for 1,000 stitches every month, in hopes to have it completed. Not in a hopes, I will have it completed by the end of this year. And it is not too late to join us. We have people joining and finishing all the time. So please don't feel intimidated because you didn't start in December when we started it. We are just plugging away at it. So it is not too late to get started with it. And that was my Put a Bird on It by Modern Folk Embroidery. The next project I worked on was for the letter E in Sparkle. And it is Daisy. And the reason why I chose the letter E is because the name of their design company is called It's So Emma. And so Emma starts with an E and Daisy. And here's a picture of where it was when I last shared it with you. Mix and try. And here is where it is now. I have chosen to leave this. I did leave it in the Nerd hoop. I finished off. I added 264 stitches to this. So the last time you saw it, I believe all I had was this letter S and I. And so I added all of the outline for the daisy. I added the center. And then while I was at the retreat, I added the two white petals. I cannot get this situated the way that I want to. So there's where we are now. I am stitching this on a 32 count Whimsical by Bestitch Me, and I am using the called for thread pack. These charts are by Fat Quarter Shop. It's So Emma Design House, and the chart comes with all the threads. So there are all the threads for the charts. I'm not for sure if this is still open or not, or if they have any left. It is a club. I am in the club, so. It is called a Seed Packet Cross Stitch Series. And there's a flower every month that comes out. I already have the one for this month. For the month of March. This was January's, I believe. Yeah, because I started it in January. So that is where I am on that. The next project I stitched on was for category Whippagories, and it is a large. And I will put a picture of the chart here. It is Self-Love, and it's AKA Damn I'm Beautiful. And here is where it was when you last saw it. And here is where I've gotten to. I have finished all the words on the top line. You are more than a number on a scale. And I love that. I've always suffered or had a weight issue, and so for this to be put on a chart is wonderful. I would like to come back in and do the crowns next. We'll have to see. but I put in 208 stitches on this, and that was the complete first line. So there's that. I am stitching this on a, it say 46 count, but I don't think that's correct. Well, maybe. I don't know. It says 46 count cloud break. It seemed awfully, I don't know. Sorry, that's what I'm stitching it on, and I'm using a Silks for You thread combination that was gifted to me by my friend Jerica. So you'll see some variegation and some different different colors of thread coming up soon, the next time I pick this up. Okay, so that was Damn I'm Beautiful. The next project that I worked on was Scenic, and that was for Whippagore categories. And my Scenic is Glendon Place, and it is City Sidewalks. And here's a picture of where it was when I last shared it with you. And here is where it is now. So I have completed all of the buildings now. I still need down here, I've completed this whole building. So now I need to put in the little snow that goes along the roof here. And then there's snow and cars down here. I need to add the the beads in a couple of the buildings and in the tree. And I will be complete, this project will be completed. I do have this on my year of whips. It will be completed, and it might be completed the next time that I pick it up. I should have maybe put it in for my Springo, but I didn't have enough. There's not enough on here to put it on Springo, I don't think. Because if it got called 5 or 6 times, but you know, a G will come up again, something will come up to where I'll be able to finish this project off pretty quickly. I am super excited about it. I added 385 stitches to this project this time. It's not a difficult project. It's just, you know, getting in like all the different color bands and all of that. So it works out really well. I really like it a lot. I'm going to see about getting it professionally finished when I have it finished though. I am using a 28 count, and I don't know why my card is not in here, but I am using a 28 count fabric and all of the called for DMC threads with it. Oh, it is a frost, 28 count Be Stitch Me Frost. So it'll be really nice to get that finished. And hopefully it won't be like well into the year, like I can get something. Again, I was thinking I was going to use it for my Springo, but it doesn't have enough, and I don't want to have to try to figure out another project in the middle of a project, in the middle of a month. So there we have it. The next project that I worked on for Miss Shelia's birthday, was the first day of spring. Happy birthday again, Miss Shelia. And it was also my WIPCO project, and that was Ink Circles, Garden of Zig. And here's a picture of where it was when I last shared it with you. I am loving this project. Here is where it is now. And I am loving it. So I added this whole motif here. When I last shared it with you, I had like I had the middle, I believe, and one of the arcs done. But I love this project. I put in 227 stitches, which is this whole motif here. I'm stitching this on a 32 count white tee by Color and Cotton. I absolutely love it. I am using the Cottage Garden threads, and I am letting the threads just flow like they would. I did in the beginning try to make sure that like it matched up here. However, if I kept going with that whole line of thinking, I would have to start cutting the threads and making them match. And so I'm just going to let them flow however they go. And that's the way the model was stitched, and so it'll be okay. I love it. So this was for Miss Shelia's birthday because we both started it together, and it was also my WIPCO piece. And for my WIPCO, I ended with 565 stitches on it. Okay, so for the next project, I really struggled a lot. Where is it? I took this project with me on retreat, and I said, you know, I shouldn't do this. I probably shouldn't do this. And I did it anyway, and I struggled with it. I literally, at one point, had to put it down and, like, get it away from me because I was ready to throw it in the trash. That is Coffee by Rosewood Manor. And here's a picture of where it was when I last shared it with you. And here's a picture, and here is where it is at now. So, I was working, so I know for sure I put in this rosebud here and this leaf here, and I believe I put in this rosebud here. And they were the cause of I had stitched one, I had started stitching on it and literally had realized that I put the wrong color in. Well, I was like, oh, I'll just fudge it and keep going. But as you can see, the middle is dark, and I had reversed it. I had put the light in the middle. So I had to put 200 stitches in, and I literally got to 200 stitches and was like, I'm done. So this is also on my Year of Whips. I used it for the R in Sparkle for the magazine monthly acrostic. I'm going to really pray on this project because it is a lot. It's a lot of color changes in here. And I still have, like, I still have all this big flat rows, these over here, and all the greenery. I still need to fill in the coffee part. So maybe when I pick it up again, I'll just concentrate on doing one color at a time. You know, I don't know. I was really frustrated with it. And I know it's going to be beautiful when I get done with it. Like, I think it's going to be very beautiful. I just need to, you know, maybe taking it to the retreat wasn't the best idea. Because I wasn't concentrating. I wasn't concentrating a whole lot. I am stitching this on a 28 count Queen's Anne lace, and I'm using all the called for DMC projects. It is nothing. It has nothing to do with the design. The design is fine. It is typical. It is me because, you know, what I need to do. What I should do is when I get ready to work on this project, I need to pull 4 needles and thread each needle. That way, when a different color comes up, I can just move right onto that other color and not, you know, try to count around and go to the next and all of that. Because like I literally could have thrown that in the trash and been like, okay, so much for that. I'm done with it. I'm gonna give away the chart because I don't want to do this anymore, but I'm going to persevere and keep going. You know, if it keeps giving me headaches, then, you know, maybe I'll reconsider having it finished for Year of Whips. But I love it. I drink, I used to drink coffee a lot. I've stopped drinking as much coffee as I used to drink, but I'm a coffee person at heart, and so I'm like, okay, I'm going to persevere and not let this bother me. But whew, it was a close one. I kept huffing and puffing at the table, and Katie was like, it's giving you fits, huh? And I was like, yes, it is. It's giving me fits. I mean, when you put in 20 stitches and then realize, okay, I've done this wrong right off the rip, you're like, okay, maybe I need to rethink this. What I should have done was put it away and just picked up something different. But, you know, I'm going to persevere. I can do it. I can do it. I can do it. So my next project is for the letter P in Sparkle, and that is Petite Coussin. And that is by Hobby House Press. And I picked this up when we went to Hobby House last year in September on a friend's retreat. And I am doing the pincushion. And here's a picture of where it was when I last shared it with you. And here's where it is now. So I brought the vine completely down. Up underneath here will be the pot that it goes into. And that is what I worked on. I put in 204 stitches on this project. And that's all I worked on was the vine and the leaves. So when I come back in, I can put in the other half of this flower and put the flower in over here. Yeah, so I have a flower here to finish, a flower there, here, and here, and here, and here. And then the pot, which is very ornate, and then it'll be finished. So this could possibly be a finish this year if I pull it out a few more times. I know it's going to be a few more times before it'll be an actual finish. I am stitching this on a 40 count Winter White by Seraphim, and I am using a mix of overdyed threads that I chose for the project. I actually took it from DMC to Classic Colorworks so that I would have a little bit more variegation in the thread colors. The next project I worked on for plain stitching. I was on a plain 2. And going, I stitched. Coming back, I slept. And that was, sorry for bending over. I guess I should have said that in the beginning because I've been bending over. It is Gemini by Mill Hill, and if you recall, or if you are new here, I am stitching each one of these for my children. They are all adults, but I thought this would be a nice birthday gift for them this year. So I am stitching each one of them one. And if I have a picture of what it looked like before, I will post it here. And here's what it looks like now. So I did some fill-in on the plain and just put in 113 stitches on the plain. Again, these were short flights, so believe it or not, I actually got in four threads of 4 needles. I stitched. So what I did was, let me back up. I loaded 5 needles, and with those 5 needles, I was able to stitch while I was on the plane. Now, each needle has 3 threads in it, so. But it was really interesting. On the second part of the flight to Indianapolis, there was no one sitting in the middle seat. So me and the lady she sat on the aisle and I sat in the, next to the window so that I could also get natural light in so I could stitch. So it worked out really, really well. I have me a little to-go bag that I can put in my backpack, and I loaded the needles up again to come back, but I didn't stitch coming back. I slept coming back. So signs of a good retreat, sleeping when you come back. So that was that, and that is for the plain trip, and I'm stitching that as the kit called for, perforated paper and the whole thing. Sorry, itchy eyes. So Saturday the 22nd was my friend Carolyn's birthday, and I decided for her birthday I would pull out something that she has been stitching birthday projects all month. So I decided to join her and stitch on a project for her birthday, and that is Blue Rhapsody. And if you recall, mine's is Blue Rhapsody in purple. And here's a picture of where it was when I last shared it with you. I have to get some more clips because I like the whole clipping of the boards, the projects to the boards, but I need some more clips. So here is where I have gotten to. I worked on bringing the wing up and over and all of this down. I added 179 stitches on her birthday for this. And I know it wasn't, I don't believe, well, I can find out. I've got a card, I've got a card. We actually started this in 2023 for her birthday. I'm stitching mine on a 32 count boudoir, yes, boudoir fabric. And I changed my colors from blues to purples, and I'm using a Silks for You and a Vicky Clayton silk. And so there is where it is now. So I really would like to finish this butterfly this year, so it'll have to come out again. I have made a commitment to my projects that I would put in at least 200 stitches on all of my projects. Well, as you noticed, some of the projects already have their 200 stitches in, but what I will do is use them again for acrostics and challenges, and that way I will get in even more stitches, and I can adjust my goal. The 200 stitch goal is just something for me because I only have, and I know I keep adding to the number, but right now I have a little over 50 projects with me out of 100. I have more than 100 whips, but I only have 50 with me right now, and I have 50 with me because I've been adding new whips, adding new starts. So, but even with the new, I need to put in at least 200 stitches because that is my new, when I start a new project, that's how many stitches I want to put in it when I start it to make it a good start. So, Blue Rhapsody in purple, for Carolyn's birthday. And then not yesterday, so then on 3/25, okay, now on 3/25, let me just do this right here. Okay, on 3/25, Lichen had its birthday. This was a start last year for when Ymir was running. I started this on 3/25/24, and that is what it looks like. That's what the model looks like. Mine's will not look like that. And here's a picture of what it looks like when I picked it up this time. And here is where it is now. Sorry for the wrinkle and but I added 100 stitches. Well, nope, let me double check that. I added 111 stitches, and that is that was on this side here. So I added the colored thread. I'm using Almond M&M silk for the color portion, and it is really being blown out because there's blue. There we go. So I'll have to hold it back here so you can see the actual colors. So it's a variegated, and it variegates from blue to white to yellow in there. I am stitching this on a 36 count Blue Ridge fabric, and the silk is by Almond M&M's. The outline fab floss is 38. Nope. 38.79. 37.99. It's 37.99. It's the outline fabric. And as you can tell, there's still outlining that needs to be done in here. But for his birthday, I just wanted to put 100 stitches in, so I decided to just put in some color. So as I pick this up again, I'll need to like come in here and do some more of the outlining also. So that is where I am on Lichen and its birthday stitching. And then for to finish up my whip go, I worked on Kaleidoscope, which is by Lori Holt, and it's in this book here. And here's a picture of where it was when I last shared it with you. And here is where it is now. So I added these two blocks here for 165 stitches. So those two blocks right there got added. This is on my year of whips. This was for my whip go, and I finished it at 565 stitches. 565, 548. I think it's 48 for the month. But I am very pleased with the progress that I've gotten on this project. It is I can get this done by the end of the year. Again, it's going to all be about me putting it in on various acrostics. I'm stitching this on an 18 count white Aida, and I'm using the called for DMC flosses. So they're the floss colors. 993, 597, and 930. So it's all going to be about me making sure that I keep the project in front of me so that I can make sure that I get it finished by the end of the year. The next project I worked on is also on my year of whips, and it is Sunflower Fairy. And I believe I have a picture of it, and here it is where I last worked on it. And here is where it is now. Sorry about the big crease in the middle. I added some more wing. I needed 70 more stitches to meet my 200 stitch goal on this project. No, I needed whatever it was. I needed 50 stitches is what it was, and I put in 70 stitches. And I am using 762 and chronic blending filament, so you can't really see the sparkle in it. But so now when I come back to work on this, I need to put in her hair. And then she also has beads. Oh, I'm looking at it down here. You can't see that. So I need to work in it, putting her hair in, her arms. And then I can work on getting her beaded. She has beads all the way around and back stitching that I need to put in on her. So I'm just going to keep plugging away at her. She, you know, will be finished this year. I am using the thread conversion of Almond M&M's silk skin colors for her skin complexion. It is being stitched on a 28 count coloring cotton, and the name is, it's not on the card, oh, Old West. So I'm using Old West coloring cotton. I need to see if I can, I think I said that the last time too, so if I can get that color again. So that was Sunflower Fairy. Yesterday was the 29th, and I have a 29th of the year. My lips are chapped. I have a 29th day of the month project because I started a project on leap year, and I work on it on the 29th of the month. And it is Stitcher's Wish by Stitchy Pros. And here's a picture of where it was when I last shared it with you. And here's where it is now. So I have turned the corner on the border. I put in eyes and the lips, well, part of the smile. I still need to add red stitches here and here. And I finished this first back leg. And that is where I'm at now. I chose this project as a leap year project because Carolyn said, well, frogs leap, so, and you like frogs, so do one with a frog. And I was like, that is genius. And so I did. I am stitching this on a 36 count Weatherstone by Atomic Ranch Fabrics. And I am using the called for DMC flosses for the project. So I have I have until the next leap year to get this project done. So I figure if I work on it for 100, 200 stitches every 29th day of the month, then I should be able to meet that goal. And with that, what did I add? 179 stitches, 196. I added 196 stitches this time. I've been going through, I was not a person that kitted up projects before they were, but I have learned the error of my ways, having to transition to North Carolina, and then now that I'm transitioning to North Carolina again, I've learned the error of my ways and will be always kitting up projects. I think, I I mean, I don't kit them up before I'm ready to start them, but before I start them, I'm kitting everything up, because last night I was sitting here stitching on that project and, you know, ran out of thread. Didn't have the thread you know, because I don't put threads in bags. And was like, okay, and had to stop in the middle. So it took me an hour to kit it up. Whereas if I just do it on the front end, it makes it so much easier. So, you know, I'm learning my lesson all the time. 196. So now I have a couple of things that I would love to share with you. I finished, and pardon my reach, I finished, and I'm trying to still figure out a way to fully finish this. It's not working out the way that I had a vision. You know, I had a vision. And this is the fully finish of my son's birthday gift, and it's crooked, and I can't seem to get it straight. But it's the Pisces sign for my oldest son's birthday. And that's why I can't figure out how to finish it, because it keeps coming off. So I don't know if I need to get some fabric glue or what. I know you all are laughing, and I am laughing right along with you, because I can't get it to stay on the fabric. So I don't know that I'm going to leave it this way, but this is how I finished it. And it's supposed to sit on, so my thought is that it would sit, you know, like this. Like I bought these little easel things. But see, it wouldn't fall off the easel if the easel was sitting flat, it wouldn't fall off the easel. So embarrassing. But that's my finish, my fully finish of Pisces. And I actually finished it at the retreat. I needed to do the beading on it, and that's what I did. I did all the beading. I finished all the beading. I had started it, but I finished all the beading, which was great. I got some tips and some tricks and some pointers from my friend Janet on how to bead, and so it made it really easy for her to walk me through it. I'm an in-person learner, and so it really worked out great. And then I have one more finish, and I am remiss. I thought for sure that I had this on my year of whips, but I do not. And it doesn't matter at this point, because it's finished, and I am thankful. But I was able to put in the rest of the straight stitches on all of the last 3 turtles, and I finished temperature turtles. So now all I need to do is get it a good press, and I am going to have it, I was going to have it made into a pillow, but I think I'm going to have it framed. And then I'm going to talk to someone and see about putting like the year 2022, 2024 down at the bottom, so that, you know, if anybody ever comes across this, they'll know what year it was. They won't know what any of the other information is except for 2024. And maybe I can hand it down, you know, hand it down to one of my children. They'll be like, oh, Mom, this is wonderful. But I am super ecstatic. Thank you so very much, Sarah, for such a great design. For those of you that don't know, I am an avid turtle, frog, butterfly person, and so this just warmed my heart. So now I have one with butterflies and one with turtles, and I am truly thankful. Okay, so those were my 2 big finishes. For this past 2 weeks, I put in 4,000 4,220 or 4,273 stitches. I am going to need another turtle project now that my turtles are finished. And so where do we go from here? I still need to go over my plans and my investment / stitchy kindness. So I'm going to pause you for just a second, and then I will come right back with my plans. Okay? All right. Okay. So the next piece of information, or the next part, is my plans. I actually have a couple of things. So let's go with the first. I'll be putting in, for the month of April, I'll be putting in my 1,000 stitches for Put a Bird on It, Sal. That's first and foremost, always. And then for the Magazine Monthly Cross Stitch Challenge group, they have come out, in addition to having the theme and acrostic. The theme is growth and the acrostic is apricot. They are doing another event called Springo, and I am going to participate in Springo. I love these challenges that they put on. They could do a challenge like this every month, and I would be like, woo, I'm in. Excuse me. I like doing challenge stitching. You know, if you've been watching me for a couple of years, you know that I did the whole stitch across the United States and all of that. And I love playing games that do stitching. I'm involved with a whole group of people that do stitching by board game, and I truly enjoy it every month. Every week. We draw twice a week. So for Springo, it's like a true bingo in the fact that every number will not be called. You have 35 numbers, and your board has 35 numbers on it, but it could be, I don't know, there's 35 numbers that you put on your board, but only 25 numbers are going to get called. So you could get, number 1 could be called, but number 2 not be called, or number 15 be called, but not number 25 be called, you know. So it's a true, it's a bingo game in the sense that not all the numbers get called at the same time. And I'm here for it. So what, pray tell, am I going to be stitching on? Well, let me tell you. I literally took all of my year of WIP, with the exception of one. All of my year WIPs are in here with the exception of one. So the first one that I'm going is number S, is Sunflower Fairy by Nora Corbett. Number 2, or for the letter P, is Peabody. The letter R, that's right, you guessed it, Coffee. And again, I'm going to really, you know, if the numbers get called for Coffee, I'm going to really focus in on doing the 3-4 colors on a needle so that I can stitch this without a problem. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. The letter I is Imaginary. And for Imaginary, I'm going to be using my Dragon Warrior. For the letter N, I'm using the name Nuri, and she is the designer behind the Black Butterfly sampler. She is Shaded Stitchery. For the letter G, I will be using the Gemini chart for my son. My middle son is a Gemini, and I will be, you just saw that. I didn't pick it up off the floor. And so that will be, Gemini will be for the letter G. And then for the letter O, I'm using We One Quilting Bird. And all of these are on my year of whips with the exception of Gemini. But I want Gemini to be finished by the end of May so that I can mail it off to my son for his birthday in June. So those are all my year of whips. I have made a preliminary board. It is very, very crude. It's but here's the board that I've made. So I've switched some numbers around and all of that. And I will be getting the master list together of that shortly. Whipagories / categories. Now for the, I'm sorry, let me go back. For the Springo, you stitch either 1 hour or 100 stitches on the chart. I usually try to stitch 100 stitches, so that's where I'll be looking. That's what I'll be going for. For the Whipagories, the categories are pattern type paper, and for that I will be using a Honey of a Tiny Town. For Fancy Lady, I am using the letter K Fairy. For Greater Than 30 Colors, I am using 324 by Works by ABC. For Older Than 2 Years, I am using Autumn Peg, which is also on my year of whips that I want to finish. And I am really close to finishing this. I need to start the back stitching. And once I do that, then I'll be good to go. The back stitching, I think, is all that is really left of this. So it's going to be very interesting because I'm going to have to count the back stitching for the 2 hours. I mean, the 2 hours for the 200 stitches. I'm going to have to count that back stitching, but I'll worry about that. And for Flora Fauna, I will be using Flea Market Flowers. For the WhipGo numbers, the letter P, for the WhipGo, I'm using numbers also, numbers and letters. So my number 4 was the letter P, and for the letter P, I'm going to use Purple Rain and put in 500 stitches on Purple Rain. And for the number 10, I'm going to double dip and use, my number 10 is the letter N, and I'm going to double dip and use Nuri and Black Butterfly Sampler. I have not decided whether or not, just yet, if I'm going to participate in the acrostic for the magazine monthly cross stitch challenge group. Usually when I do the pop-up challenges or the Springo Bingo Bringo, I use that and just stitch on that project for the entire day. So I'm not sure that I'm going to put any more on me and do that. So there are my plans for the month of April. And now I'm going to go through Stitchy Kindness and investments. So we had a lady at the retreat. Her name is Mary. She actually lives in Columbus also. And she crocheted everyone these scrunchies. And I've been waiting to use mine because I'm going to use mine as it's a scrubby. And I'm going to use mine as a face scrubby. It's a different type of yarn. You could actually use this on your dishes, but I'm going to use it as an exfoliator for my face. And so that was that. Thank you very much, Mary. And then my friend, okay, what did I do with it? Okay, so let me first show you. So I dyed some fabric, and here is the fabric that I dyed. It's a long skinny piece, but I used gray and purple, of course. And I spooned the fabric, I spooned the dye over the fabric. So I scrunched it all up. And then just poured the fabric in wherever I felt like it. And then when I opened it up, I had this big old white spot. So then I dumped it down in some gray. So it was very fun. I have always liked dyeing fabric. Although I don't do it very often, I can do it. I know how to do it. And what you get, you know, oftentimes what you come out with is like nothing you've thought that you would. So I truly enjoyed that. I then sorry, caught me by surprise. So the Marie had all these bags made for us, and inside the bag was this giant eyeglass cleaner that is big enough to clean your iPad or your tablet with. So I'm very thankful because I use these all the time to clean my glasses. So I will just be keeping this one in my little stitchy bag so they can go with me whenever I go somewhere. She also made us little cute name tags. Her theme must be frogs too, because everything had a frog on it and I loved it. It had this nice bottle of lotion, which smelled awesome. And then it had, we also got a little baggie that has a frog pin and a frog charm and a threader. So that was right up my alley because I'm a big frog person too. And then I was looking for this. I'm like, why is this in here? Okay, so then that was in the bag that Marie gave us. And then a lady by the name of Kim, which I was so ecstatic, made everyone at the retreat these beautiful 3D name tags. Now, some people were saying they were going to take theirs. I'm too afraid to take mine to a whole lot of different places because I'm afraid it'll get broke, because it's not often that I get to see my name. But here's mine. And it is so cute. So I don't know about taking it to, I guess if I wrapped it up, I could take it to retreats. But like I had it wrapped up. She had it wrapped up in this, and I wrapped it up in that to bring it home too. So it is wonderful. Thank you so very much, Kim. I really, really appreciate it. As one who spells their name differently, I never can find my name on anything unless I settle for the traditional way you spell candy. I don't find my name on hardly anything. So it was great to have that available. Then my friend Janet Jabber gifted me with a whole bunch of different fabric cuts that she had used, and then, you know, cut off a piece. And so she knows that I like stitching small things on small fabric counts. And so she gifted that to me. She also gifted me this snowman chart by Primrose Cottage Stitches, which I have been eyeing and eyeing, but never did pull the trigger on it. So thank you, Janet, for giving this to me. Then my friend Karen brought me 2 Mose silk packets, and I've never stitched with Mose silk silk. They're on Etsy. Karen doesn't use silk. And so she gifted me this. It is purple. And I have a lot to do, a lot of, it's 1 strand, 360 yards of silk, aubergine. So thank you, Karen. I appreciate it, because, you know, you can never have too many purple threads in your life. And then there was a lady by the name of Susan. She gave out these little frogs. If you follow me on Instagram, I had a picture of it on Instagram, and it had sunglasses on. Well, she also was selling some things, and I bought a piece of 46 count antique white. It's a fat quarter, and it's just white. You know, there's no modeling or anything, but I didn't have any, so I thought this is perfect. I will be able to use white on something. So maybe I could use and do a monochromatic on a white fabric. That would be interesting. So there is that. I think I have given you all the updates that I have. I always feel like there's something more that I need to say or want to say to you. I do appreciate you all still so kindly giving your condolences to the passing of my mother. In 2 weeks' time, I'll be going to Columbus to do the Columbus, Ohio memorial for her. So I'll be gone again, but that's in 3 weeks, so we won't have to worry about that right yet. I am looking forward to going home. I've been in North Carolina now since the beginning of November, and so I'm looking forward to going home and seeing my house and all of that. Although I'll be coming back to North Carolina, I have not really made it too public yet, but I am going to stay in North Carolina right now. I have the freedom to be able to live and work for my same company, and I'm going to utilize this opportunity to make a few changes and see if some things change for me. There's nothing wrong, nothing at all. I just am ready for a different change in life, life circumstances. So it'll be interesting. I'm looking forward to it. And then, you know, if it doesn't work out, then I always have a home to go back to. My children are making sure that my home is being well taken care of, and so I'm appreciative of the freedom that this is going to give me for a little while. So we'll see what happens. Again, I thank you all so very much for taking the time out of your schedule to watch my videos. I know this is a much longer video than normal, so I appreciate you. And I hope that you get a lot of stitching in this next coming week, and I'll see you next weekend. Bye, everyone.